Welcome, students. It is a great pleasure for me to meet you via this video lecture session, and I hope you and your family are safe in this crisis situation. And since this is an offline lecture class, you can view it at any point of time. Hence, I could wish you good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depends upon in what time you are going to visit this. Coming back to the technical concepts of our lecture, we have only six topics left over in our teaching plan as per the syllabus. And the last part, all these six lectures corresponds to graphical user interface, which is only an introductory point. And we will see some introduction to graphical user interface in these lecture sessions. You can have some notes so that you can follow the points which I'm going to say in this class. What is a graphical user interface? The definition is very, very important. It's a pictorial interface to a program. Normally, all of you would have used some Amazon or any online purchasing systems where you can find some push buttons, you click that, and everything will be done. Have you ever wondered how these push buttons have been created? It is mainly using this graphical user interface. And we have some programming concepts in the background, which we are going to see how you can do all those things via MATLAB. So first thing you have to note down is what are the different parts of a graphical user interface or GUI. There are three basic parts of a GUI. The first one is called as a components, the second one is called as a container, the third one is called as a callback. And first you must know about the container. The container is the biggest block of any GUI. It may be a window which can be called as a figure window or it can be a panel window. And second one is your components, and in this figure window or panel window you are going to place all your push buttons, your menus, your circular buttons, your checklist, and so on. And the third one is your callback. So whenever you click some button, maybe a push button, some operation is going to take place. Say for example you need to have 10 products instead of 5 products. You just drop down and you make sure that 10 has been selected. Once 10 is selected, automatically the number of products will be increased to 10. That operation is done by your callback. And how you are going to create and display a GUI using plenty of options available. You can see that in your screen you have the three major containers, as I told you, the figure, the panel, and also the button group. And then you have the additional control options also. So figure, panel, what's the difference between these two things? Panel means you do not have any title bars or menus. However, you have all these things in the figure bars. And you have the third one called as button groups, where you have the toggle button, reset button, and so many buttons, the list, the checklist button, and all those things which are given below your button group under graphic controls. All that can be used. Push button, you push or you press some button, some operation is going to take place. Toggle button, you are going to change the option. The radio button is a circular button. Checkbox, checklist, you click that to use that, or if you uncheck, it will not be used. Edit box, change your text, list box, pop-up menu, sliders. All these options are available in your GUI. And this is how a GUI will look like. You have a push button, you have a toggle button. So depending upon when I click this push button or toggle button, a specific operation will take place. This entire structure is called as a figure window. Now we can see the figure window. So whenever you click GUI, or we have a tool called as guide, whenever you click that, first you will up this screen will appear to you, and you have many icons here: file, edit, view, and also the button icons here. So whenever you require, you can go for clicking that buttons and have that in your screen. Once you select all those buttons, your screen or your GUI interface will look like this. Again, these are the independent clicks or the explanation for this. You can design, you can have a text field where you can make use of the text box to align this. You have a push button, and the entire operation is called as a figure. And again, the most important thing is you can also change the number of characters you have in a text box, that you can change the background colors. All these things are possible with this push buttons. And we have some basic MATLAB codes. We call it as a structure code, or it is normally used with the help of an option called as handle. So once you have this structure, you can look at this line. So I think, or if it is not clear, you can use the textbook also. You have a structure option, or you have a inbuilt syntax for this. You make use of this guide option. Once this guide option is selected, automatically the screen will appear and you can choose whichever buttons you want. So the only thing you have to note down is how many buttons you are going to use, what is the main application, how the customer will be interested in your application software. So once these options are clear, then you can decide on what you are going to use and how many you are going to use. And calling the M file, callbacks is another third major components of your file. Callbacks, you can do it without arguments or with arguments. Without arguments, when I say without arguments, you can use any function callback. Say, for example, you choose 5 instead of 10. That 5 parameter has to be passed along with your M file option. That is with arguments. Without arguments, you will not be having any option in that. You have to choose anyone given in the display list. If that is the case, you can go for the without arguments also. And this is the syntax for your GUI handle. Once this handles or GUI data is chosen, automatically the screen will appear in your screen. This is callback subfunction. Callback is the main operation behind this GUI. You have three parts in that. One is called as H object, other one is called as event data, and the other one is called as handles. H object is the handle of the parent figure from where you are going to import all the data. And event data is currently an unused array where you are going to store all your outputs. And handle structure corresponds to the operation of the function which you are defining in your GUI. You can also add application data to your figures. That depends upon the application. This sample is given. A better clarity figure is available in our textbook. And there are many functions and the properties available for these containers, these push buttons, and these toggles also. That in detail we will see in the next session. Thank you for your patience listening. I would advise you go to the textbook, our Stephen Chapman textbook, and the chapter number is 10. It is freely downloadable. You just go through the options. The programming part is not much important for this GUI. I want you to understand what are the different facilities available with the creation of GUI when you go for a specific application. Thank you very much.